we're very delighted to have Dr. Gertrud Konigs-Dudin from El Paso Community College talk about a window on research, a hobby brings an unexpected opportunities.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Good morning, everybody. So I'm Gertrud Konigs, and I'm from the El Paso Community College. And I actually was very delighted to hear the presentation of the group of Zachary, because they said science is a continual process of observation. I think if I remember that well. And my talk is actually also going into this line. So why a hobby? Well, my hobby is hiking, and since El Paso is in the Chihuahuan Desert, that's also where I mostly hike. I really enjoy this very much, and this is a picture of Big Bend area. It actually looks very green. Usually the desert doesn't look that green. I mean, for you out here in the north, you say, that's green? Yes, for us it is green, yeah. And usually it's very dry and sandy. And when it gets green, you say, wow, what do all those plants do there when it's not so green? How do they look like? And actually, that's how they look like in the upper pictures. There is, to the left, we call them the Texas rainbow, and to the right, you see a haystack, and you see a cactus, and you see how they grow. They are really on the plain soil. Well, if you can call that soil, it's mainly rocks, really, and they are also so hot that you can hardly touch them. And when it rains, the rain is more evaporating than it is staying or sinking into the soil or running off like through the cracks on the rocks where the other cacti sit to the right. So it's very difficult for those plants to survive, but still they look very healthy, and after a little rain just, they show off. They really show off with those flowers that are so beautiful that you really have to stop and take a photograph. You cannot just pass by. They are really, really beautiful. And not only that, they also have another very nice feature which we enjoy when we hike through the desert, and that is their fruits are very, very delicious. Especially this haystack cactus. You can see on the left that there are many of these red fruits, and we call the haystack cactus therefore also the strawberry cactus. The fruits have a taste of strawberries. They are very delicious, but of course first you have to pick them out in between those spines, and also then when you have the fruit, you still have to brush off the spines from the fruit and peel it, and then you can enjoy, and it's really an enjoyment. They are so delicious because they taste as if they are just coming out of the fridge. Very, very refreshing. So we never pass an opportunity to get the fruit when we hike in the desert. Now, I always wondered then, why then don't they offer these fruits in our markets? You know, you never see them on the market, and they are so delicious. Well, you actually find rarely amount of cacti that has that many fruits, and especially also ripe. That is really very rare. So they are not really very productive. And the ones that are productive are actually the prickly pears. You find them on the market in El Paso, we can find them, but mainly in Mexico, the fruits are sold as tunas, and also the stem segments, which are here shown, they are sold as vegetable, as nopales, mainly with hot chilies. So I thought, there's a cactus that is very productive, and you see that they sell a lot of them, so this is really helping feed people. And also, not only people, well, they grow them in their yards, but when you look at the farmers, they even collect them as fodder for livestock. And there are scientists, they say this is the most productive vegetable you have, actually. And when you consider that they come from the desert areas, you are really surprised how can a plant be so productive and feed not only people but also animals, and come from the desert, actually. And now they are also looking into using these cacti for biofuel production. So another very important function of those plants that will come to us. So I learned a lot by just hiking through the desert. That's my passion, and I kept my eyes and ears open, and I was asking questions all the time. So here I listed up, again, everything that I learned. I also, of course, read a lot about those cacti, and I wore the t-shirt that we have from our Cactus Club in El Paso today, so to make you aware that you can really learn about these plants a lot in your community also. There are many people who like to study them, so I also learned about that there are cacti that live at high altitudes, and they can even tolerate freezing, though in the desert they have really temperatures and sun exposure that is very, very extreme. They also are edible, and many even have medicinal purposes, like especially the nopales are offered now to people that in our area, they are told to eat them because they prevent diabetes, them to develop diabetes. So a lot of information that once came very handy to me when I was accompanying some of our students to a short course in genetics at the NIH. Here it's in Bethesda, so close to Washington, and that was in 2008. And there I actually overheard a colleague that I'm working with, Dan Hawk from Green Bay. He was talking to a group about a project he has with a NASA project, and he was looking for plants that could survive a lunar day. A lunar day is actually 14 days light and 14 days night. So 14 Earth days light and 14 days dark, and everybody was looking and say, I don't think there is any plant that can handle that. And then I asked him, did you ever think about cacti? And of course he looked at me and said, cacti, can you eat these? And then of course I started talking to him about everything that I had experienced with these plants. So we came together, and we are working now on this NASA project, Carbon-Based Astronaut Advanced Life Support, together with Cindy Smith. She is from Colorado Divide, and she is working mainly on high altitude agriculture, which also faces similar problems that the desert areas face. So we came together, and you see we call it the Star Mission to the Moon, and planting our way in between the stars. So we want to call this cactus that we will develop Opuntia nokisi. Nokisi means star in Cherokee, because both of my colleagues are Cherokees, Indian, and they chose that name. So this is our emblem that we use for it. Now, of course, oops, sorry, that was too far. What would be the plan for these plants? Yeah, this is done by an unknown artist. I got it from the NASA website, and you see that's actually, he imagines a colony on the moon like this. It would be in a lava tube, and then you would have these windows to the outside where the plants would grow, and they would have to establish an atmosphere for the astronauts to use. And of course, that is a very, very difficult task for plants. They really have to be extremists to do that. They have to stand very high temperatures, very low temperatures, and also they have to really start up with very little atmosphere. So I brought actually this project back to our college, and also our college from the RISE program, the same program that offered me to go to NIH and to come here with Dr. Alvarez in conjunction with the SSEP now. And this is what I'm doing with the students in El Paso. So we put our Opuntia into a vacuum container, we expose it to vacuum, and of course, the first test it had to go through to live through a lunar day, and it did that very well. We kept it actually for over a year in this cycling, and it was doing fine. It was growing even in that cycle. Yeah, and now we have it in done in a vacuum, and also there it was surviving, though it was not growing. And some of the students I heard also, oh, we had to take our experiments home, and that's what I'm doing also. I take them home and plant them into my yard and see how they are going to continue after they come out of there. So because it takes a long time to do this, and if I would do it at the college, we have so many rabbits there, and they are eager to eat them. As soon as I plant them outside, they will eat them. So I have to keep them in my yard. So also we are exposing them, of course, to other extremes, like having a high nitrogen content in the atmosphere, almost no carbon dioxide, which is very exciting that they survive and they even grow in that environment. So a lot of questions that we have to answer, and all of these, they really came from my passion for these cacti. So I really want to remind you again, it's very, very important to keep your eyes and ears open and to just follow those questions and join a club. There are many clubs that offer a lot of information on what you can do. It's very exciting, and even we also started a club at our Trans Mountain campus of the El Paso Community College. It's the Native Plant Club, and I'm the advisor for that too. So I take the students also out into the desert, hike with them, show them the plants, and try to get them involved in this kind of research. Thank you very much, and if there is any question.
Thank you for a wonderful presentation.
I'm still kind of thinking of my question, but you grew this cactus in a vacuum. How much of a vacuum are we talking?
Yes, we converted to altitude actually, so we went to about 1,300 feet. Let me see.
Meters are fine if that's what you're used to.
No, it was about 3.5 psi, if you can handle that.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Are you developing your own cactus without spines or with anything? Are you getting your own, or are you going to use one that's already...
Yeah, we are planning to use the Opuntia ficus indica, the one that I showed. This is a prickly pear, and it is actually the one that is used for consumption, that has the nopales, or is producing the nopales, and also the tunas, the fruits. So that's the one that is actually the most proliferant of the cacti, and prolific of the cacti, and it is also the one that is best researched and has the most tradition and food industry, and that doesn't have so many spines. Still they are there, yeah.
Right, I guess then we just had to figure out a good use for the spines, right?
Yes.
Very good, no way around it. All right, thank you very much for a wonderful presentation.